The MG Cyberster is one of the most surprising cars MG has built in its modern era, and it represents something the brand has not attempted in decades. This is a two-seat electric roadster with scissor doors, a folding fabric roof, and a name that nods to a heritage stretching back to the MGB and the MGF. After years of building sensible electric hatchbacks and family SUVs, MG has decided to remind everyone that it once made sports cars, and the Cyberster is this statement. In Romania, it starts at €77,950, which works out to roughly $90,400 at today's rate. That alone tells you this is no longer the budget brand it used to be. Standing next to it on the show floor in this royal yellow paint, the proportions are what hit you first. It is long, low, and wide, with a sharp nose, slim arrow-shaped daytime running lights, and a body that looks like it was drawn by someone who wanted to make a statement rather than a spreadsheet. The Union Jack-inspired taillights frame a clean rear deck, and the Cyberster script across the boot lid reads more like a Grand Tourer than a budget EV. The scissor doors are the party trick, and they open wide and high, which makes climbing into something this low feel like an event every single time. The roof is worth pausing on, because it is a proper electric folding fabric design that drops or raises in around 15 seconds, and it can do it while you are rolling at low speed, so a sudden change in weather does not mean pulling over. There is also a clever touch you only notice in person. The boot stays the same size whether the roof is up or down, because the folded fabric tucks into its own compartment instead of stealing luggage space the way many convertibles do. Inside, the cabin wraps around the driver in a cockpit-style layout. There are 3 screens, one central display flanked by 2 that sit on either side of the steering wheel, all angled toward the driver. The Y-shaped sports seats here are finished in a light gray leather, with a generous backrest and a shoulder support system that holds you in place. It is a genuinely nice place to sit, though the design does come at a small cost. The screens are relatively small and the passenger may feel a little excluded on a long drive, since almost everything is pointed at the person behind the wheel. If breakdowns like this help you decide what to drive next, subscribe so you catch the next one. Practicality was never going to be the headline here, but it is worth being honest about it. The boot holds 8.8 cubic feet, slightly less than a Porsche Boxster or a BMW Z4. There is a small parcel shelf behind the seats for soft bags, and the opening sits high, so larger items take some lifting. For a weekend away with 2 people, it works. For anything more, it asks for compromise. The powertrain is where the Cyberster makes its case. This top GT version uses 2 electric motors for all-wheel drive, with a combined 503 horsepower and 535 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 arrives in 3.2 seconds, which is genuinely fast, the kind of pace that embarrasses petrol cars costing far more. The 77 kilowatt-hour battery gives a WLTP range of around 276 miles in this dual-motor form. The one area reviewers consistently flag is body control. At nearly 4,700 pounds, the Cyberster can feel less sharp through quick direction changes than a lighter petrol Roadster, settling its weight a beat slower over mid-corner bumps. But that same weight and softer tuning make it a relaxed, sure-footed cruiser, the kind of car that covers long distances with the roof down without wearing you out. Charging is the other half of the daily story. The Cyberster takes up to 144 kilowatts on a DC fast charger, which MG says is enough to go from 10 to 80% in around 38 minutes. That is not the quickest in the class, but for a car most owners will charge overnight and drive for fun on weekends, it keeps the inconvenience rare. That is really what the Cyberster is. It is not pretending to be a track weapon, and it is not trying to outhandle a Boxster. It is an electric roadster built around the feeling of open-top driving, with serious power and dramatic looks, from a brand that decided it was ready to build something special again. For watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.